Hey, what's up? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the debt being released on the market. And I'm going to briefly talk about hardship letters. Debt collectors are buying more debt. There's more lawsuits that are going to be coming out. It's saying right now, as our economy is opening up more and more, that the debt collectors have increased their virtual lawsuits by over 2,000%. They've learned that they don't have to be in the area. They could do these virtual lawsuits and invest small amounts of money. They don't have to get an attorney in that area in most states. And all they have to do is just file to be able to do business in that state. And then they can, file these virtual lawsuits, and most people don't show up. So they end up winning by default, and their profits are into the billions of dollars. Here are two portfolios that are available in the market. One is major credit card companies, $47.7 million, 2,456 accounts, average charge-off date 2008, average balance 19,000. Another portfolio, $76 million, 5,317 accounts, average charge-off date 2008 to 2011, average balance $14,000. And these debt collectors, they know, even though these debts, most of them are past the legal statute of limitations to collect in most states, they will still buy these portfolios because most people don't know their rights. They will either get the debt reset by making a payment on them. Even a $1 payment will reset the debt and make it a whole new, under the statute of limitations, it'll bring it back under, and it'll reset from the date that payment is made, because people don't know their rights. First thing, you get a letter from a debt collector, you have a right to dispute that debt. The first thing you need to do is first look and see if it's past the legal statute of limitations for you to even have to pay the debt. It doesn't matter if it's past the legal statute of limitations, and you can go to my website to look at that. You do not have to pay that debt at all. You don't have to do any debt validation, none of that stuff. If it's not past legal statute of limitations to collect, then you need to do a what I call a cease and desist collection activities, where you make them prove every aspect about the debt. I'm going to give you those letters, so don't worry about that. It's below this video. But if it's past the legal statute of limitations, you don't have to pay it. You just have to notify them. If it's not past legal statute of limitations, you still need to respond, or you're going to give them rights to put that information on your credit report. So so that's step number one. Step number two, reasons, and I want to say this real quick. If a debt collector calls you before they send the letter, that is a violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. They cannot call you first. The reasons why they might call you first is because they don't have the information fully. Some of these debts are not done or not batched out. When they batch them out, they get updated addresses, updated information. If it is batched out, then they're going to send you the letter right away. So if they do call you first, you tell them, send me the letter. And then what you do next is you write them a letter back saying that you call me first, and you can quote the statute in the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act where they cannot call you first. They have to send you the letter first. And you can get that, by that violation. If you have an attorney in your area, you can have an attorney sue them for that violation. You'll get a $1,000 suit for that violation. Or you could just say, hey, let's just end this right now. And you send me a letter saying that you're not going to come after me for that debt. And you need to hold that letter, because if they try to resell it to another debt collector, then you'll need to use that letter to stop that next debt collector. So that's what you do with these debts. They're more and more being released on the market, and there's a whole bunch of debt. Don't just be fooled by, some people say, well, these all past legal statute limitations. There are debts that are being sold on the market right now that are not past the legal statute of limitations, and the lawsuits are ramping up, because when a debt is getting close, excuse me, to the legal statute of limitations to collect, the debt collectors start to really ramp up going after people with lawsuits. So let's talk about one of the strategies that we use to kind of uh, stop debt collectors and either have them do a 1099-C cancellation of debt or a very good settlement in your favor. Take a quick drink of my coffee here. And that's a hardship letter. A hardship letter is where you can express your side to a debt collector, and they have to listen to this. Every debt collection company has a hardship department where they'll say they'll listen to the debtors to see their situation, and they may end up forgiving the debt and sending a 1099-C cancellation of debt to the IRS or the original creditor. They have hardship departments, and they will also listen. Now, my 3 steps for a hardship letter is what, why, and then the offer. What is going on? Which is I owe you this debt. I know it. I acknowledge it. I want to pay it, but why I cannot pay it? I got medical, loss of income, family issues, divorce, whatever. It has to be a legitimate hardship. Now, they may come back to you and they may say, well, we want these documents to prove. Usually it's going to be a financial statement to look at your situation so they can determine with their department if this is going to be worth spending money going after. Really, that's when you think about a hardship. If it's like, hey, here is the letter, and this is one that we're actually working on. Here is the letter that was presented to the hardship department. They read it, and they're going to say, hey, this is what's going on. They owe us this money, but look at what's going on with this situation. If this is true, why would we spend more money going after this? Because we're not going to get anything. Why would we do it? Now, you might be saying, well, they do it all the time. Well, they do it all the time. That's because most people are not, telling them what's going on. Most people are just silent, and they just like going through the process. They try to contact you, nothing. They give it to a debt collector, nothing. So what they're thinking is that you're just running. When you submit a hardship and you say, okay, this is what it is I owe you this money. Why I can't pay you? Here it is right here. Medical, income, divorce, family issues, whatever it is. And I'll even submit proof to you. This is what's going on. And then offer. I'm going to make you an offer, either this settlement offer, this amount of money. You can balance that against what you think you can get and what you can't get. Or I would really, because there's no way I'm going to be able to pay this debt, can you write this off on a 1099-C cancellation of debt? Because there's just no way I'm going to be able to pay this debt. If you put that in, you write that out, and I say write it out like a story. You do not need to try to make it like a woe is me. You just need to be factual. This is what happened. This is what I'm going through. I do not see this getting better in, within 1 year, within 2 years. This is going to be something that I'm going to be experiencing for a long period of time. They will consider it when it's like that. If they believe that maybe situation could get better in a little bit, they might do what they did with this client. This client here, they held off on it. We wrote an offer 2 years ago with the hardship information. They stopped the whole process, and now 2 years later, when there's only 1 year left on the statute of limitations, they came back up. They're taking it to court, or looking at taking it to court. And so now what we're going to do with the strategy is we're going to reiterate that their financial situation didn't get any better. They have some money that they had pulled out of retirement account, and that they would like to make that offer to them to do the settlement. And you might be saying, well, why don't they pull it all out from the retirement account? Well, they don't have to pull it all out of the retirement account, because they don't have, retirement accounts are not able to be garnished, or they're not able to be attached or anything. So really, it's if the hardship is proven, If we can get them to believe the hardship, I believe that they will accept that settlement offer, because it's going to be the situation of getting nothing. And this family has a true medical and financial hardship that has not gotten better over the last 2 years. So that is what you could do. And if you find yourself in that situation, you do need to consider doing a hardship letter, because that could be that can open up a door either for excellent settlement or 1099-C. All right, I'm going to end the video here. At the below this video, you can grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations letter, the debt validation letter, and the cease and desist collection activities letter. Use those. Use the one that is pertaining to your situation. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website, your3scores.com, to grab those reports and scores. You need that information if you're going to be able to fight back against debt collectors. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you post your comments and questions. I'll be in there answering those. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.